If you could choose your favorite home cooked meal, what would you choose?
Oh wow. Favorite home cooked meal would probably be a good meatloaf with
Mm.
some garlic mashed potatoes and green beans and good old iced tea. Although I drink unsweetened tea now, I quit drinking sweetened. You know how the Southern iced tea is, and
Yeah.
probably either a piece of carrot cake for dessert or a piece of cheesecake.
Very good. When you have the meatloaf, do you like to have barbecue sauce on it at all, or is it just plain?
I make I love to cook and I love a meatloaf. So I put a lot of different sauces in it, and then put
Uh,
like a glaze over the top of it that has a combination of a little barbecue sauce, a little ketchup, brown sugar, maybe a little honey. Just depends on how I feel that day. And so yeah. I now keep in mind I've been on a diet for 10 days, and I hadn't come
yeah.
anywhere close to any of those things, and probably won't for a long
Okay.
time. Maybe
Sweet. Great.
that's why I'm on a diet. It's because I like food like that.
No, right, right. No, please. I'm the same way, especially I'm the same way. Whenever I see meatloaf on a menu, or when I know we're cooking it,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
choosing that.
How's the food over there in High Point? That's like a 5-star hotel over there, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. It's kind of like the country club or Disney without the rides.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, no, it's food over at High Point. It's definitely pretty good. I think at times they definitely treat us a little too well.
yeah.
Especially what I've kind of noticed, especially being home this summer. It's the food that I'm eating this summer is definitely a bit better. I think a bit healthier anyway.
So you started over there as a freshman, maybe 5 years ago or so.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Okay,
so started there as a freshman in 2018.
yeah. So you know your way around this part of the state. I would assume then know your lay of the land. How many times you been to our ballpark?
So funny enough, I haven't been able to make it out yet.
Oh
Because I didn't
my
bring
God.
my car until senior year.
Yeah.
So I was kind of late in the game on driving down and everything.
Well,
So I need to make it down. I need to make it over.
can you see her?
Oh yeah, big time. Oh my goodness.
I don't know how much you know about us, but I've had a bat dog since 2006, and that one you just saw is the fourth one. Her name is Willie Mae Mays, and she just started this year, and she's doing great. She's still a puppy. She's
Awesome.
only a year and a half. But I started that with Miss Babe Ruth in 2006, and we've had four dogs involved over here ever since. Unfortunately, dogs don't live long enough. So
Right.
yeah,
But it's good that she's off to a good start and to getting the job done on a
yeah,
good note.
yeah,
Sweet. So it's crazy to think that, we're definitely roughly, halfway through the season. Feels like, things just pretty much started up essentially yesterday. So with that being said, what's kind of stood out to you so far, with the Grasshoppers, I guess between like the team itself, the front office, and all that fun stuff.
Well, it's funny. The MLB has their Major League All Star game when they have it, and everyone thinks of it as a midseason break.
Yeah, right.
And, they've actually played. All of them played about 90 games or more, so they're 10% or more into their second half. In our case, we play 132 games now. For years, we played 140, but A ball now we play 132. Obviously, 66 at home, 66 on the road, and we already have played 45 home games. And tomorrow night we start and play 9 home games in 10 days. So
Mm.
fast forward 10 days to July the 31st, and we only have 12 home games left. How about that? So in a
Yeah.
lot of ways,
Huh.
yeah, we're more than 3/4 of the way into our home season, and it's we're coming down the home stretch, so to speak.
Yeah. And I know like a lot of teams up here, like without our A teams, same thing. We're going into um a major like homestand with it not being like you said 9-10 games at a time. So how how well are you guys able to like operate in something like that? Like are you like how's the staff operate? Do they like to take on the challenge? Do they do well with the challenge?
Yeah, we have, I've been doing this now for 21 years, and we have somewhat of a small staff from, I guess, industry standards. We only have 15 full-time people, but half of those people, actually 8 of those people, have been with me for 10 years or more. So they know me, I know them. They know that the expectations that I have, that we have as an organization, and they step up. I mean, it's this time of year, and it's hot. It's going to be hot this weekend, probably hot next week. Like I say, you've already got 45 games under your belt, so it's kind of the dog days of summer, so to speak. But they step up, and we have a motto here, and probably most teams do, or a lot of teams do, and that is that every day is somebody's opening day, it's somebody's first time here, and
Mm.
even though it seems redundant to us, and we do it day in and day out and over, year after year, it's you always got to put your best foot forward, because somebody, or quite a few people probably, are that day, that's going to be the first time they ever set foot in your place. Just like
Yeah, as you were mentioning, a minute ago, is that in terms of the experience that people get, it's always somebody's first, and I feel like in the sports industry, that's always something I get day in and day out. Was like, hey, this is my first time here,
yeah.
and so when somebody like enters the stadium, is there a way like they can, if I went up to somebody and said, hey, this is my first time, like, do you guys do something for their first time experience, or?
I mean, a lot of those things. I mean, obviously, we're going to treat them just like they're our old friends. But depending on situations, we had a situation last week where we knew in advance someone was coming. Actually, someone was coming from England. Knew in advance. It was their not only first time here, but first baseball game ever. So we recognized them and got them on the video board in between innings, and first time here, and introduced them and all that kind of thing, which was quite a thrill. But a lot of times, if you just find that out as someone's walking through the gates, 20 minutes before the game starts, it's kind of hard to do something like that. So,
Yeah. And so that's another question, kind of shift gears just a tiny bit, is what are you looking forward to most as the season does start to wrap up?
Well, we hope our team gets a little hotter. We've last year we had an incredible team here. We got beat in the finals of the league championship, and we had some really talented young men and great pitching. This year we've hit the ball okay, but our defense has not been as good, and our pitching has not been as good. So we're 500-ish, a little below 500 for the year, and would love to see these guys, kind of get it together and make a run and get in the playoffs, and hopefully, be the league champions. I mean, but beyond that, I think as every year comes toward a close, it's bittersweet, because it's an incredible amount of, 6 months worth of off-season work and preparation and sales and planning and so on and so on. And then, to see that take care of itself over a 5-month period and then come to an end, in some ways it's a relief. In some ways it's you kind of got to regroup and start all over again and get ready for next year. So, and that's what we do.
Yeah. And as I guess a final question I have for you today is, what is something that really excites you every day about your position, and why?
You know, I learned very early in this business that with what we do, we have the ability to make differences in people's lives. We make lifetime memories for people, and I've tried to always never underestimate that, and I try to teach that to our staff. I mean, in my case, I'm older, obviously, but I remember 50 plus years ago going to my first baseball game ever, and you probably do too. And I think everyone else does. And to think that on any given day, we are part of making that memory for someone. There's very, very, very few things you can do in this world where you feel like you're making memories and, making a difference in someone's life. I can't tell you how many times over the years someone has come up to me and say, "Hey, Donald, how are you?" Said, "You probably don't remember this, but 10 years ago, you gave my son a baseball or something." And to this day, he still has that. And it's a fond memory for me and for him. And, it's just things like that they just are exponential. And that's very, very special about this, what we do for a living.
For sure, for sure. And I wanna thank you again for your time. And my apologies again.